What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Movie Talks, the only podcast you need for all your movie news, movie reviews, and more. This is episode 34. So the blocks are falling into
Wow.
place, as you can see, for everyone who is
That's it. You get one. You get one. That's it. You've said it
no,
once. No more.
no. It's just that's how the pieces fall. So that's how it's going to happen. So we've got a bit of a star-studded lineup for you. We've got Champions, which is a new sporting film, which is Woody Harrelson,
Mhm.
Tetris, and Digman. So very, very exciting news. And we've got a big lineup for you next week as well. But anything you want to tell them, Laws? Anything you're really excited for? Which one is it going to be?
Oh no.
Nope.
No,
Good.
it's an interesting week. Things that I was excited for end up being not great, and things that I was like, about ended up being pretty good. So we'll see.
We'll see. A little bit of a surprise, but we'll go into movie
I
news.
guess maybe it's worth mentioning that I'm not well. So if I start coughing and dying on stream, my apologies.
Yeah, you'll be right. You don't
Yeah,
die because I'm in a new co-host,
do my
and
best.
it's
No
big,
promises.
big shoes to fill, mate. Who else is going to be the art house angry man? That's a it's a very niche market.
No, that's me. That's me.
Yeah,
It's my job.
that's it. That's right. So Indiana Jones is double crossed in the new trailer for Dial of Destiny.
What? There's new
Indiana
Indiana Jones
Jones.
coming out?
Yeah,
Oh, I did know that because
we've spoken about it
um
before.
yeah, who's the not indie, but who's the new like main
Main what?
I don't know if I can talk about it anymore. There's
uh,
someone that's been added to it, like a new actor, and I've
uh,
forgotten.
right. I don't know, but we'll see. Uh,
Like talking about me ass. I don't even fucking know. I'll go back to
I,
bed.
I liked one, two, and three. Four was shocking. They all of a sudden had aliens and all sorts of things coming in there, and that
Yeah, I don't
lost
even think I finished it if I'm honest.
number four.
Mm.
I didn't finish four. As soon as the aliens came, I turned it off.
Uh, yeah.
Yep. Star Wars, three new movies are confirmed. Apparently, Daisy or Ray is coming back and is going to be a
Yep.
Jedi Knight. So I wonder what
Okay.
the time skip's going to be.
So three new movies were announced. Do they mean like another trilogy, or do they
Yeah,
mean is it like a that one plus a couple other spin-offs?
no, another trilogy. And
All right.
then there's also going
Didn't
to
know this.
be a like a what's it called? An old Republic. So like a prequel to even like further than
Cool.
what's it called episode one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad. I'd like to go older. I
yeah,
think at
have you?
this point, go on, sorry.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind them rebuilding. I wouldn't mind them dropping like prequels and also future installments of like what's happening. Because I do like how the Empire, with the Order 66 and rebuilding and taking back over. Like, there's so much they can do if they didn't kill
Yeah,
all
I don't
the
know.
original lore.
I've stopped. It's upsetting because I love Star Wars, but I've kind of stopped watching a lot of the newer stuff. Not because it's bad or anything, just because I don't know, just feels like everything's the same at the moment.
Okay. There is a Michael J. Fox documentary coming out. I'm definitely keen for that. I
Okay.
reckon Michael J. Fox was a fantastic actor, and
Uh,
obviously,
I'd like a biopic.
yeah, pretty much,
Yeah, cool. I like that. He deserves
yeah,
it.
yeah, he's very, very good. Have you seen the images of Lady Gaga for the Joker 2 as
No,
Harley Quinn?
I'll look at it right now. That sounds
Look at
cool. I like her a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. Well, after The Star Is Born, I'm very sold on her acting ability. I think she did a great job in that one. Like, and we know that she can
Her in
sing.
I always reference it, but her in fuck American Horror Story always
Yeah,
very much impressed me.
very talented lady. And
Images her as Harley Quinn.
mm-hmm, yep, it looks pretty good. I
Okay.
like how it's not like it's a different take on it. It looks a bit darker, a little bit more like what would be the word? Gloomy, bit more grungy, I
Bit
guess.
more macabre, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. The first one was good. So if you haven't seen the first Joker, it's
I still haven't. The other day I was flicking through movies to watch and I saw it. I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. And then I end up watching something else.
it's it's
Looked
it's
I
not
thought it
an
was great.
yeah, it's not an easy watch though. It's quite confronting. But
Yeah, okay. I like
yeah,
that though.
yeah, it's just got to be in the right mindset for it.
Mm, yeah.
Adam Driver in talks for Michael Mann's Heat sequel. So is that like the sequel to? Wasn't Heat the one with Sandra Bullock, or is that the? I'm pretty sure it was Sandra Bullock, and it was like the
Heat.
female. Yeah, Heat.
Do you mean like the 1995 Heat? Pardon me.
It could be. Yeah,
There's an
apparently.
old like Al Pacino movie called Heat.
Yeah. Well, reading the article, that's definitely the one, not the one I was thinking of.
All right.
I mean, he would fit a gangster, I reckon. High pants Harry, he would be cool, I
I
reckon.
Pants Harry.
Yeah.
I don't know, would he? I
I
feel
think
like he
he.
carries he
Have you
carries
seen
his roles well, but I don't know if
House
he's
of Gucci?
no, I haven't.
Very good. I liked House of Gucci. Lady Gaga in that as well.
What sort of character does he play in that?
One of the Gucci people, kind of gangster, but
Not a
not
gangster.
gangster.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Like Gucci people gangsters.
yeah.
Okay.
Gucci gangsters.
The Gucci gangsters.
Yeah. Barbie new trailer is out. Have you seen the
Yes,
new
looks
Barbie
great.
trailer? Yeah,
I did watch that.
it looks very fun. I
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
excited
real
for it.
keen. Very much so. I think at first I thought it was going to be. I guess I should have given them a bit of grain of salt, but I initially thought it was going to be really like I don't know. I thought it was going to be shit. I thought it was going to be just a typical fucking romance with Barbie slapped into it. But I like all the attention to detail and all the little like it. It's really like cartoony and fun. Like they're not taking it seriously. And I
No.
can appreciate that.
Have you also seen Margot Robbie and what's her name? Jessica Prez or something or other, the one from the girl from My Name is Elle. They look identical.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like if
that's fair.
look at side by side pictures and like people have made the mistake that they're the same person. Like
Yeah, I
it's
can see that.
yeah, it's crazy how close
Mm.
they are. I also liked one of the interviews for I think it was Barbie or one of the other ones where Margot Robbie was talking, being all professional, and then her Australian mates were out in the back going, "Hey, maggot."
She's that's one of her favorite things about her is that she's like an Aussie bogan, like true and true. I
Yeah,
love it. Yeah,
it's,
she's cool.
it's good fun. Shrek 5 producers want to reunite
Oh
the
my
original
god,
cast. Can't believe we're going for another Shrek.
it's time to stop.
Game of Thrones movie spin off about Aegon 1. So I'm not
A movie?
we haven't had a movie. It's
No,
an
okay,
interesting take.
didn't know
Like,
that.
hmm. And Blue Beetle, I sent you the trailer during the week on this one. This is got Miguel from Cobra Kai. He is
Oh yeah,
starring as the Blue Beetle, which is my prediction. It's either going to be shocking or it's going to be real goofy kind of fun. Like they have to lean into it one way or the other. There's no
it
way that
looks.
it's not.
You got my reaction the other day, but
Yep.
I think it looks fucking stupid. It looks
Yep.
like everything else, and it looks like Ant Man. It looks like Ant Man with some Spider Man 3 thrown in. It's just I can't believe shit like this is still coming out. Honestly, like surely at this point, people will look at this script and go, "Yeah, that looks like everything else," and they don't make it. But
That, I
whatever.
guarantee you it'll
It's
make
gonna be
it.
it's gonna be fucking boring. No one's gonna care about it, and no anyone's gonna use this as future examples of why DC suck compared to Marvel.
Yeah. And then Paddington in Peru confirmed to start filming this summer. I like the Paddington films. Also like
Paddington Bear.
yeah,
All right.
I like Paddington. Paddington
Yeah.
in Peru.
Paddington
Yeah,
in Peru.
yeah.
Okay.
He's isn't that where Paddington was originally from? Peru, I
Oh, is that
believe.
right?
I believe so.
I have no idea. Mm,
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But let's get on. That was a star-studded lineup of very packed of the
Star-studded lineup.
yeah.
Second time.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, he said it earlier, but whatever. This is the
What,
usual.
whatever, whatever. It's fine. You know, things are coming into place.
I need to make the fuck up.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to champions. So this is the newest comedy drama sports feel good film. A former minor league basketball coach is ordered by the court to manage a team of players with intellectual disabilities. He soon realizes that despite his doubts, together this team can go further than they ever imagined. I mean
Yep.
that was probably more dramatic than what it
Yeah, you
actually
literally
is.
know the entire plot of the film through those two sentences. Like you can literally make up the rest without having seen it.
Yeah. So Woody Harrelson is a basketball coach and he gets in a disagreement with the head coach. He pushes the head coach and then unfortunately then gets real drunk and gets a DUI and then has to do community service. And that's where the catalyst for the story of him doing community service of coaching the what they call them? The friends
The
team, which
friends.
yeah,
Yes, they were the friends.
yeah. So this is a group of unique individuals. I think they were. I had quite a good time with this. Like there was a number of laughs throughout.
Really?
So yeah, I thought
Okay.
it. So for me, the story isn't overly exciting in terms of it's not going to blow
Nope.
your socks off. It's he doesn't know his players, and it's through the redemption arc of getting to know his players, he's able to get the most out of his players. And then because they do have some intellectual disabilities, it makes for some quite unique moments. So for one, there was a mouse in the showers, and one of the characters, Johnny, refuses to have a shower. And the old mate Woody Harrelson gets Johnny to have a shower by saving the mouse. And he's like, after he's had a shower and he's soaped up, he's like, "How about a hug?" Oh, I thought that was some funny moments.
Really? Okay.
Did you not? Did you not have fun with this?
No, I fucking hated it. It was
Whoa,
fucking stupid the whole way through.
the whole
I didn't
way.
laugh once. I dead set didn't laugh once.
Whoa,
A couple of smiles here and there.
is that because you're sick
Caitlin
and you're
Olsen.
grumpy?
No, I watched the same day as watched Tetris, and I had a fucking great time watching that.
Uh-huh.
Caitlin Olsen, the scenes with just Woody Harrelson and Caitlin Olsen were pretty fine. I really like Caitlin Olsen. She's in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Really funny. She's a good comedian. I enjoyed, I guess, some of the scenes with the friends. A couple of, like, little smile, feel good moments, but I cannot say that I found any of this funny at all.
Oh, wow. All right. I
No, didn't
I
laugh
just
once. Did
I
not
just
laugh once.
I disagree. I thought it ticked enough boxes for it to be heartwarming and enjoyable. Like you knew what was going to
No,
happen.
exactly. It's formulated. Like it's just
I
first of all,
guess
this is based. I found out it's based on a Spanish film called The Champions, so it's not even an original story, but nothing it is anymore anyway. Um, it was real lazy. It was literally looking at every feel good sports film ever made, and okay, what are the story beats? Oh, let's throw a romance in because we need something to pad out the middle. All right, now he's related to one of the basketball players. Cool. There was a black moment where we think he's going to leave everyone, and then he comes back, and then at the end he stays with them, and they end up. The only thing I will say, and this is a spoiler, but not really because who cares, is at the end he is like they play like the championship game and they lose, but they're all still champions because he told them that. Whatever. Um, I'm glad they didn't win the final game because it would have just ticked another cliche box.
no, I wanted them
Um,
to win. I was disappointed when they didn't win.
Well, she would be.
Yeah,
I don't understand how you can watch the same movie 1,000 times and be like, yeah, I had a good time.
because I wanted him
Like
to
you've
win.
seen this movie, but you've seen that. You've seen
Yeah,
that 100 times.
I like those types of films. I like basketball films. I like sport films. I like the underdogs coming in and being able to win. I like the team camaraderie. I liked it all. I like them coming together, being the best that they can be and overcoming the odds and all of a sudden getting to the championship game. And then I was sad that old mate didn't win with his behind the back big ball
Did you get
celebration
mad?
shot.
Did you get mad at him
Did I get mad
for
at him?
passing it? Yeah, were you angry at them for fucking up? Could have won.
Yeah, I know. With the pick and roll, with the Hermione. Be a statue with a pick and roll. I can't move.
Mm.
uh, you don't like sport. That's
It's
why.
not, it's not that I dislike a sport. I
It
don't
is.
mind sport. And I have some sport movies I really enjoy. Um, there are moments of this felt just like the whole setup in the beginning was just longest yard. Uh, Washed up basketball coach, down on his luck, gets himself in trouble with the law, and now he has to coach a team. He doesn't want to, but ultimately he finds out that he has a heart, and it's just the same shit, man.
Yeah, and it's done reasonably well.
No.
Yeah, it is. I had a great time.
Woody Harrelson's character, they made reference many times about him being uncharismatic, about him being like bad at making friends. He doesn't form relationships. He only understands his players based on their worth on the field, on the court, I guess. Um, and yet, as soon as he's with the friends, he's like warm. And with Caitlin, he's like really cold at the beginning in the first scene that he sees her, Alex, sorry, her name is in the story. And then later, he's just great. Like we don't see progression. I don't feel like in Woody's character. Like he's either really cold because they need him to be, or he's really warm because they need him to be. Yeah,
I disagree. You can see that he is all about the game, and he's so meticulous with the game. Like he knows the ins and outs of everything. He knows what player can't go right, what player can't go left, who's got a terrible jump shot.
yeah,
But
I
he
get that.
doesn't. But he doesn't know how to like communicate those things to the players or to the
But
coaches. And
as soon
then
as he's
when
with
he,
the friends,
yeah,
go
and
on.
because the friends are warm and inviting rather than the professionalism that is the higher ranks of basketball, they were like he didn't know. He felt like a fish out of water. Like he didn't know how to deal with them even
But
when
he
he was.
did. He dealt
No,
with them fine straight away. He was so
it's
nice.
straight away he didn't know how to respond. He was like, "We're just going to do some skill and drills," and then they were throwing basketballs at him. They were like, here's a bounce pass, good job." And then he essentially was treating him like children. And then by the end of it, he was treating him like actual people. There was
I'm just saying
progression
this
in there.
character shouldn't even be treating him like children. He should be treating them like dirt, like players. He should be like he should come in and being so mean to them about being bad and like why even bother playing. He should have started like really fucking brutal so we can see progression. But if he's just a little awkward and treats them a little younger than they should be treated, but then all of a sudden he understands them at the end, like there isn't whatever.
There was. And then, like, the first game when he realized that they were not good, he was like playing on his phone. He was just sitting there, not
Yes,
even coaching.
yes, yes. And those moments, I like those moments, but it was inconsistent. He seemed to care some moments and not care others, and it just seemed convenient.
I liked it. I thought he had
That's
enough
fine.
character
You're
progression.
allowed to like what you're allowed to like. I'm glad you had a good time.
I
It was
did
an hour and
it.
a half that you enjoyed. That's good news.
Yeah, I think it ticked all the boxes. It ticked the sporting, ticked the feel good, and it ticked the comedy aspect for me. I just hated that they didn't win. It annoys me. They should have win.
Whereas
They
I'm
should have
glad they
won.
didn't.
No,
No,
no. It should have been he should have just picked and rolled and just did the easy layup to win.
they didn't need to win because they're already champions.
You don't get a trophy for
Yes,
that.
but you get inner peace.
Mm,
They're all like better people now because of it.
I'll get inner peace and a trophy. Thank you. Pick and
And
roll.
also, like It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I didn't have a good time. It's so
Right.
boring. It wasn't that I hated it, and I mentioned last week when we talked about doing this movie that I was a little worried about, like, they're doing a movie in 2023 about a team of, like, mentally handicapped or somewhat disabled people. Um, they use the R word in the beginning, and then obviously cover that up. I'm like, oh, we can't use that word. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It was such a nothing, but it wasn't offensive, which is fine, which is good. But it also, like, if this movie didn't have the fam the if it was just a regular basketball film with hood rat teenagers, or a bunch of kids who are uncoordinated, like, dodgeball style, it wouldn't have gained any traction and wouldn't even have been made. They even point out the exploitation of a team like this being used by the NBA because Woody Harrelson's character is going to go join Seattle, blah 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 blah. This movie still felt a little exploitative,
Yeah.
uh, because it wouldn't gain any traction if it didn't have this band of whatever. Um, Constantino, the Down syndrome girl, like, I liked her probably the most, but she had one joke in that she's like the hard ass.
And you did it
Uh,
well.
yeah, but five times.
Yep. It was funny every time.
Yeah, this movie was just very, very two dimensional. Like, every character had a very A to B.
Yeah.
Every plot point had a very A to B. Nothing was interesting or new for me.
Yeah. What would you give it then?
I've given it a 1.5 because it isn't terribly made, and like I said, I smiled a couple of times. I'm glad they didn't go with the most cliche ending possible, just the second most. Um, it wasn't terrible, but I still wouldn't recommend it. It's a 1.5, maybe a one. I was so bored.
Nah, nah. I had a good time. Ticks all the boxes. It's a
Really?
3.5. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You
Oh
gotta get
my
around
God.
it.
As if we would go somewhere one day and someone's going to mention this movie and you're going to go, I'd recommend it.
Yep.
You'd recommend this to someone?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh
I
my
liked it.
God.
I liked it a lot.
Wow. I'm very surprised. I
I had a
thought
good
even
t
you would find it boring.
Yeah, I had a good time with it.
Over
It-
2 hours long too. Like, there were so many plot points. They went around and around and around. They could have easily cut this down.
No, but they didn't need to. It was enjoyable all the way through. Even when
Ow.
even when he blows his hammy out and he tries to get Darius into the game.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he was
That was such a
learning.
dumb. Yeah, but I won't play for a drink driver. Sure, no worries. Okay, I'm sorry. I drank drive. I'll never do it again. And then he's like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah. He just wanted him to take ownership for his actions. Yeah.
again, two dimensional.
Mm, no,
It
no,
was
it was
very.
good. It
It
was
was
good.
obvious from the beginning what was going to happen with Darius. Obviously, he was going to come play.
Yeah, but he took a long time. Nope. Nope.
So because it took a while,
Yeah.
it had weight.
Yeah. And he flat out refused him. Hey, Darius, want to come train? Nope. Yeah.
Oh no!
No.
And then how they hammered in the nope later.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good times. Good, good
it's
times.
it's so shit. So
No,
boring.
no. Loved it. All right.
God.
Let's move on to the true story. Well, based on a true story of Tetris. So I did go and read about what actually happened, and obviously the film
Okay.
needed some dramatizing to make it a little bit more interesting. But
Okay. I don't know anything about that yet, so
okay.
you can inform me on that.
So the story of how one of the world's most popular video games found its way to players around the globe, businessman Hank Rogers and Tetris inventor Alexei Podrosky joins forces
No.
in the USSR, risking it all to bring Tetris to the masses. How do I say it?
How'd you say it? You said like Paretsky. It's
Porosky.
Where are you reading ski? It's
Oh,
Pajitnov. It ends with NOV, and you're making it SKI.
yeah, that's because that's where it goes.
I'm so it's just I don't, and again, I've never meant any offense by it. I'm just so perplexed by dyslexia in that you can just you can add entire letters, and that's what you think you're reading. It's not a
Yeah.
judgment. I'm just always surprised.
Sometimes all the words join together and it just looks like one jumble. So then I
Where's the
just,
ski?
I don't know, it jumbled and then I just moved on.
As you know.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. So obviously, this film is about how the game Tetris came out of Russia and into the worldwide. The What I liked about the film was they made each segment of the film different levels, so they made it into a video game, essentially. Did you did you notice that?
I did, and
Yeah.
that's funny because that was my least favorite aspect.
Okay. It makes sense. So they needed it to escalate because where all the things that didn't actually happen, there wasn't that much tension in terms of it all coming out. So you know how we should probably actually talk about the film rather than where that goes first. But
Sure.
yeah. So this is we are following good old Hank, and he is one of the video game creators. I forget what his business is called in Japan. So he's Danish,
Uh,
American,
Bulletproof.
and moves around a bit, but then has a
Dutch, not Danish.
yeah, okay, he's Dutch.
Sorry.
And then he has a Japanese wife, which they met when he was in college somewhere or other, Hawaii.
In
I feel like,
Hawaii. Yep.
yeah. So they live in Japan. They run a what's it called, a gaming company called Bulletproof Gaming,
Mhm.
and they have three children, three, but
Yeah, I think three.
I think it was three. Only
Yeah.
one ever
Yeah.
got much screen time, but that's not really
Maya.
important.
Yeah. Well,
So,
she becomes important. She becomes important for the for the actual story.
mm,
Not for the story in the movie, but for the actual story of Tetris, she becomes important.
yeah. So he's at one of those game convention thingos where what are they called? What are they called in Australia or America? Is it where they showcase the
Um,
games and stuff?
like E3 and
Three.
stuff. It's more of like a tech fair at that point because I guess video games weren't massive yet. This is
Yep.
like 1988.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
they're
it's like a tech fair where he's trying to sell his little, I forget what it's even called, but some little dodgy game that his company has made.
yeah, which was
Um,
a combination of chess and something else. I forget exactly what, but I don't think that's the
yeah, I can't
important
remember.
part. And
No,
he
Queens wasn't
see
good.
no, he sees one of his acquaintances across the road, and he has the Tetris game, doesn't he? And he's like,
Yeah,
yeah. So he's like, yo, this is Tetris, and it's the block blocks all falling into place, and he's loving it. And then that's sort of where it kicks off from.
yeah. He sees it. He realizes that it could be huge, and he right then and there tries to buy the rights for distribution. First of all, in North America, which they have the rights to, and then he buys the distribution rights for Japan. That
Yeah.
point for just video game console and PC, or is arcade? I forget. But yeah,
Arcade.
there's a lot of yeah, there's a lot of the movie is the politics of the creation of Tetris, and there's a lot of talk about the different licensing between home computer or PC personal computer, video game console, arcade console, and then handheld console. So there's sort of four different licensing up, up for debate, argument, whatever, as this story unfolds.
Yes, I got a little bit lost with all the different bits and pieces, but
Yeah, that's fair. Especially when there's a part where in toward the middle where, because as the story goes, actually, you know what? We'll continue on. We're talking about it because I think it's important to keep this in order to not get too complex. But he basically from there goes back to Japan. He is on the under the understanding at this point that he has the distribution rights in Japan for video games, consoles and arcades. So he starts putting arcade machines. He also goes to Nintendo and says, "Hey, I got this game. We should get it on the Nintendo Entertainment System." They do whatever, but then he ends up finding out that because he tries to then get the licensing for handheld, so they can start pumping it out with the Game Boy, and then
I found that
he
so
finds
odd that when he met the North American Nintendo people, they were like, only two or five other people had ever seen this, and they just revealed the Game Boy to him.
yeah,
Like,
considering they didn't know him from Bar of Soap,
yeah, it seemed way too convenient. I was just like, hey,
but he was sent there from the actual Miyamoto, or his name is, the guy who was in charge of Nintendo. So
yeah,
like, I guess no high recommendation.
I don't know. I just feel like that would have been kept under wraps a bit more, considering Atari and
Yeah,
them were like
yeah, I thought the
competing
same.
heavily. But
Bit like, hey, this is top secret, but here you go. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, then he finds out basically that everything he's been told is bullshit. That this guy who's been doing the dealings with North America, whose name is Robert Stein.
Stein, little
Hmm.
creepy man.
Yeah, Toby Jones, who is in. Oh, sorry, something I'm watching next week. Um, yeah, he more or less has been. There's a bit of miscommunication with like between him and Russia. And I'm even a little bit lost of who confused who and who fucked over who there. But basically, everything they've been told so far is bullshit. Russia never really agreed to any distribution rights in North America, especially because communism versus capitalism. So old mate Tetris, what's his fucking name again?
Hank,
Our main guy, Hank.
Alex, yeah,
Yeah, he fucks off to Russia, walks into the government building. Well, everything's government building there. Walks into the place that's distributing Tetris and says, "I want to get Tetris, please." And then there's all this stuff that goes on from there, more or less, and that's where it sort of kicks into high gear if it does actually reach high gear.
yeah. So
Um,
the film is broken into four different levels, and
mhm.
each level increases the stakes in terms of what's happening.
Yep.
But the last bit when Stein and Hank are all in Russia, and also the son of what was his name? Remember the son of the other bloke who were getting Stein
Oh,
to do
Kevin,
stuff.
Mr. Maxwell.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So Kevin, they're all there and they're all in different rooms. There's a little bit of a twist, so this is a bit of a spoiler, but Hank's got a Russian translator, and as that sort of all unfolds, she's translating. Stein originally only got the rights to the arcade machines, or there was never,
Personal computer, just
yeah,
personal computer.
yeah. So it was
Yep.
never, yeah. So he wasn't defined what a computer was, and Hank
Hmm.
points it out. There's a little bit of back and forth, and
Hmm.
then Sign is forced to sign a new agreement, which puts Maxwell's in a very bad spot because they've got another deal with what was his name? The other Russian official that was like trying to force a different deal.
Yeah, yeah. I've
Yeah.
got his name definitely.
So this is all going on at the same time. Hank is trying his best to be able to, well, do the best deal for Russia as well. The Maxwell's bribing one of the officials, and Stein is just a bit of a, I don't know, creepy man.
Hmm.
But while this is all going on, Hank's family is visited by Russians from the embassy, which never
Yep.
actually happened in real life. So
Yeah, I thought so.
this was just to spice it up a little bit, and
Hmm.
they tell Hank's wife that he needs to leave Russia as soon as possible and leave it alone. That never happened. Then there was when his Hank's house is ransacked by the Russians as it's sort of peaking towards the end of the film. There
Hmm.
is a kiss with the translator where they can try
Yeah, that
and
was weird.
yeah,
Blackmail.
yeah. So I don't believe that happened as well from I'm going off memory.
Mm.
So that didn't happen. That was just the escalator. And then there's a big chase scene at the end. So when they get it, they
Yeah.
need to like chase out of Russia, which never happened as well. They just
Yeah, I didn't
casually
think so.
they just casually walked out. Where
Yeah.
that the chase scene, I don't know, I liked it, but I didn't like it at the same time. Like it was it made sense in terms of they built towards it, but when they were throwing like blocks and stuff, and they were like, "Hey, look,
Yes.
I
And the
can fit
car's
here."
going all yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And there was literally a moment where um I need to bring up this list of names where Hank puts his hand more or less on Alexi's like leg while he's driving. He's like, "Do you trust me?" When they're about to go past the truck. Yeah, that was weird. That was like some Aladdin shit. Um, yeah, I assumed that was a bit of an embellishment because that's not realistic. Why would some random Tetris guys be able to outrun KGB agents in the most like policed country on the planet,
that's because he saw the
especially in the
world
late
as
80s?
blocks.
Yes, and that's one of my things is I don't think this movie. I mean, you said you kind of liked that it went up in four levels, and I guess it made sense. Like you've sort of pointed out that it's the escalation of the film, and that each level is you know quote unquote harder than the last. But because of all that, and then all these moments, like when they did transitions, they would transition between scenes with like the same building being pixelated, and then it would like fade into real life. But I can't help feel that that stuff was kind of forced. Like the fact that it was a story about a video game, they were like, "Oh, we have to make it feel like a video game." I didn't necessarily think it added to the story or added to the storytelling at all. I would have, I think, preferred it without that because while this is about a video game and how the video game became so popular in Western culture and whatever, it's to me, it's not about a video game. It's about this this journey, I suppose, and trying to deal with politics of post Cold War Russia and their communication with capitalism and like I didn't feel like this movie. There's a moment toward the middle, or like the middle chunk, I suppose, where it didn't had nothing to do with Tetris anymore. It was to do with this guy just trying to get the rights to something. It almost Tetris was like a MacGuffin at a point. But then because of the story bringing in Alexei, who is the creator of Tetris and therefore the original owner of the IP, bringing him in and showing, I really like the scenes where Hank was going out like partying with Alexei and seeing like the real Russia, the Russia that isn't policed and people actually trying to be free and whatever. Because then in the movie, towards the end of the movie, we see a lot of like revolting happening in Russia and people rising up and all that sort of stuff. And I think that this is in a way more of a story about Russia and more of a story about Russia and American politics than it is about Tetris. And Tetris is almost a I guess a driving force behind the story. That's how I saw it. And that's why I don't think it needed to have the levels and you know the at the end, literally at the end, uh when he wins, it comes up on the screen, pixelated, comes up saying, "Congratulations, player one, you beat the game." And I hated that. Like it felt so disconnected from the rest of the story. Because the rest of the story wasn't about this guy trying to succeed. It was about him just trying to like it wasn't about him winning. It was about the journey. And like we knew he was gonna win. We know you can jump on Wikipedia and find out that he's gonna win. Like yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. That was probably the one aspect I didn't like. I thought the
Okay.
rest of it was great. I really liked the characters. They felt really real. Um, Taron Egerton is great. Like his character was really really good. I felt his character felt real in everything
But
he was trying to do.
I'd watch him in anything, I reckon. He's
Yeah,
he is quickly becoming one of my favorite actors.
That's fair.
So good, especially in
I think it's,
Blackbird. This and
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, he's just I feel like he plays he plays characters well. Like he doesn't just feel like an actor on a screen. I know that's sort of their job, and a lot of actors are good out of that. But yeah, I just felt like his character the whole time watching it. I went then and looked up some interviews with the real Hank Rogers and Alexei Pajitnov, and he felt like very similar, a bit more of a hippie, the real Hank Rogers, or at least he is now anyway. Um, but yeah, I thought he was great. I think um, all the different characters are interesting. As much as they probably tried to shoehorn in too much like KGB stuff, I still enjoyed the bad guys. It was really nice to see the Maxwells, the Kevin Maxwell and Robert Maxwell, the father son capitalism, bloody monopoly guys. Um, it was nice to see them fall at the end and sort of go bankrupt, and that's all real. They did a little like, where are they now at the end? Um, yeah, I just felt like this was paced really well, and the characters were really great. And considering it was 2 hours, nearly 2 hours long, I thought it was, yeah, start to finish, really fun,
Yeah,
and a story that I'm glad I feel better for knowing this story, I suppose now.
yeah, I enjoyed it as well. In terms, it has all the different twists and turns. You got. I know you didn't like the levels. I quite liked the levels because it was
That's fair.
getting getting more exciting as each sort of level came along. Like I think if it was just the politics, I would have got a bit bored with it. Like I,
Yes, and I'm not saying we shouldn't get more exciting, but how many other movies get more exciting as the story goes on, but they don't need to tell you this is level one, this is level two. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
I know, but that's they were trying to pull out like the nostalgia of Tetris. Tetris has your different levels as well.
Does it?
You can have levels, yeah.
Does it have levels? I don't recall original Tetris having levels, but I could be wrong. I haven't played original Tetris since I was a child.
There are Tetrises with levels.
Okay, take your word
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Does it say, "Congratulations, player one, you are the winner" at the
And I
end?
never got to the end.
Fair. Yeah,
um,
nah.
what would you give it?
Um, Initially when I finished it, I was like, yeah, it's a four. But the more that I've sat with it, maybe like 3.5.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's up there. It's 3.5. It's a four. I'd recommend it to people. I think it's well worth watching. If you're not into games and whatever, I still think it's a good story. Like everyone knows what Tetris is. It's the most well sold game in history. I think the story is interesting. I do wish that stories like this Hollywood it wouldn't add a climactic car chase scene at the end. I'd rather just know the actual story without all these dramatic embellishments. But it's Hollywood, I suppose. What I
Yeah.
expect.
I don't know. I'm sure it made for the trailer a little bit more exciting. Escaping
Yeah, sure.
Russia with Tetris. But
Exactly.
yeah, I think it's a four. I would definitely recommend anyone to go see
Mhm.
it. Wouldn't watch it again, but
Okay.
like the once off viewing is very
Yeah,
good.
I think that's fair. Even me, who likes watching movies more than once, I think once you know this, you're like, oh yeah, it's an interesting story. One thing
Yeah.
I'll point out as well,
Mm.
they were really clever with music. Like all the music, not all the music, not chase music and stuff, but actually, no, it was. The majority of the music that we heard was um had the Tetris theme song in it. In like, there was these happy moments and there were these scary moments and there were these tense moments and there were these whatever moments. But in the background of all these different songs that were playing, all these different scores, was the like that Russian, classic Tetris music, but like
Yeah.
really slow or sped up or high or low or whatever. And it was really nice. Like just having that in the story was a little, not necessarily an Easter egg, but a little like it tweaked your ear when it happened and it sort of reminded you the story that we're in. And I think it was quite clever. I like when movies and shows can do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Moving on to a Digman. So this one you were excited for. So I'm gonna
I'm not
let
sure
you.
excited is the word, but
I'm pretty sure it was. I remember
Yeah,
you,
I
you
mean,
said
I thought it
I'm
was
so
gonna be
excited
okay.
for it. It's you can do the
Said it looked
honors on this
funny,
one.
is what I said.
Mm, mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
take us away.
Oh, you'll be introduced? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are watching Digman. It is a adult cartoon created by Andy Samberg and Neil Campbell. It is the story of a world in which archaeologists are massive celebrities and the coolest people on the planet. So they're called Archies, they call themselves. And it's like this sort of fabricated world where archaeologists are like the celebrities and museums are like the basketball stadiums of the world, the movie theaters. Um, the show starts off with him out on a quest with his Archie sidekick and his wife, partner, whatever. And the sidekick, Zane, double crosses him, takes the MacGuffin that they're after, and in the process, his partner dies. Um, his partner was also voiced by Melissa Fumero, who is Amy in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So yeah, we watched the first two episodes because the third one didn't come out in time. I don't know why. It was meant to come out Wednesday, but we watched the first two. Um, as the story continues, it's pretty much just he gets a mission and then he goes and does said mission, and normally Zane rocks up and ruins said mission and then he goes home empty-handed, or even though he goes empty-handed, he ends up gaining something else. So he does gain a new sidekick, um a girl called Saltine, who is like a young college archie who wants to follow him and whatever. um yeah, it wasn't great.
No. How many jokes did they try and fit in a 20-minute segment?
Yeah,
Like this
yeah,
was
yeah.
more jam-packed than like Family Guy.
Hmm.
Like it was just
I
every
wrote I wrote Family Guy as well. Yeah,
yeah, but
there
Family
was a lot of
Guy had a little bit of a break in between jokes, even if it was like a minute or two. They'll do something and then they'll do the next gag. This was literally gag, gag, gag
not sure
straight.
about that.
It was literally
It was, but
joke
I'm saying
after joke.
I don't think Family Guy is much different in that way.
The earlier seasons were. The newer
Sure.
stuff like is very similar to this.
Yeah, I'm biased. Family Guy's shit. This yeah, you're right. This was just like little joke, little joke, little joke, to the point where nothing became funny because quote unquote everything was funny. The characters were very boring. The one time I laughed, the one time was just there's a self-aware moment where uh Rip Digman, which is our main character, the main Archie, he has to like pull this lever in this wall of snakes. And as he reaches his hand in, Saltine's like, "Oh, don't tell me you're afraid of snakes." He said, "Nope, nope, not afraid of snakes. I'm my own character. I'm completely original. I love snakes." And he puts his hand in. And he does love snakes. It's like a running joke that he loves snakes. The self awareness in the fact that this is obviously Indiana Jones. Um, that one joke was the one time that I was like, which officially means I found this funnier than Champions because I
Okay.
laughed at this at
All
least
right.
once.
I only laughed at the first episode where they're introducing his what was his little animal thingo? Where it was like, I've never seen him fast.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Why's your thing fast? He's like,
yeah. I don't know what it's called either.
yeah, so he's got some raccoon or animal thing that are normally slow. And
Yeah,
then Saltine's like, why is it fast? Because it's addicted to methamphetamines.
yeah, yeah.
So
Some methamphetamines.
I was like, all
Yeah.
right. That was all right. But then other than that, I struggled hard with this. I messaged you during the week and I was like, I don't want to watch three. Two two is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was when I watched the trailer, I thought it was gonna be more like Archer, a bit more being an adult cartoon. I expect it to be mature, I suppose, in a way where this like Family Guy is the perfect connection with this. It's just jokes for teenagers, then they say, oh, it's an adult cartoon because they can't say this is for teenagers because it's, you got fuck and shit and methamphetamine jokes and whatever. Um, it's it's such a nothing show. I'm so disappointed. I love Andy Samberg. I think he's really funny and can do some really funny shit, but this is fucking nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was not
No.
good. But like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, fantastic. And I
Yeah.
think his character is great.
Yep. I really like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I was looking at Neil Campbell's history as well, the other creator, because you know, as much as he's supposedly the creator, Andy Samberg, this guy's name's also attached.
Yeah.
Um, he has like no history. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
bits and pieces, but not much. Like one episode of The Simpsons he wrote for, which
Oh,
means he was part of a team of 20 people who wrote for it. Um, he'd done 7 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's done some writing on the Oscars,
maybe
Between
they're
Two
just
Ferns.
maybe they're just friends and they're like, hey, let's do a
I
show.
assume, yeah, but it was obvious that like the jokes, to me, it felt like the jokes are written by Andy Samberg. He's in his own little room writing his own little jokes, or like, "Have you funny this happened?" Like I think he, pardon me, I think he brought a lot of like the the comedy to it, but the rest of the story felt so disjointed and it wasn't funny because like none of it was situational comedy. It was all just like we want to joke about this, how to make that happen, and they just find a way to shoehorn in this joke.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
very forced. Nothing even flowed very well either. Like even
no,
the missions, they seemed forced. Like they seemed cliche in terms of where they were going. Like
yeah,
what were they doing? But
and like just an opportunity to have a bunch of cameos. Like Daniel Radcliffe is a character, Jola Trulio, who is in Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well. Paul Russ is in it. Jason Schwartzman's in it for one episode. Like this felt like an opportunity for famous people to have a bunch of their famous friends on a show that they didn't have to put much effort into. Like, surely
yeah,
this wouldn't
yeah.
cost that much to make.
Well,
It's
no,
animated like an old Cartoon Network show. It's very nothing, very unexciting, and it
yeah.
will probably get one season and then nothing else, and no one will remember it even exists in a few years' time.
What would you give it?
Um, did I like it more than Champions? I don't know. What did you give it?
One. There's a one.
Yeah,
It was just forced joke after joke and
yeah.
very little sort of good, not even good storytelling.
No, and not even funny enough characters that you're like, oh yeah, I'll watch another one of them. Like these are only 20 minutes long, and yet I still wouldn't watch another one.
Yeah,
Who was definitely like, yeah, I'm done with this.
yeah, disappointing.
Yeah, I guess a one as well then.
Yeah,
I probably enjoyed Champions more, which is phenomenal, but at
that's,
least Champions had like a bit of feel goodness to it.
yeah, it did. It was a good
And there
film.
were some scenes I enjoy the characters in the scene where there weren't even any scenes where I was having fun with the characters, which is so fucking stupid for an adult comedy. Like you can do anything. Literally cartoons. Sorry, adult comedy, adult cartoon. Cartoons you can do fucking anything. There are no rules. And like this character, yeah, anyway. We've said it. It's nothing, it's boring. It won't be anything else past this one season. I expected more from Andy Samberg, but I guess I don't know. It's like any American comedian. It's just a lot of their jokes can get tired, I suppose.
Yeah. So, but we got. I'm excited for two of
Yeah.
the things next week, and then we've got one that's sort of trending, so we thought we'd check it out. But we
Mhm.
have the Super Mario film. What you need to remember, Lawson, is that this is made for kids. It's not
Yes, I
made.
know.
It's not made for 30-year-olds, mate.
I just want it to have heart. Like the 1993 Mario, as bad as it was, it had some heart. I just want some heart in this. All I
Okay.
want.
Just
Don't want to be
remember,
formulated illumination bullshit. I just want them to put a bit of care into it and make me obviously think they've liked the IP. Anyway, we'll see.
it's a kids film.
I know it's a kids' film, but just because it's a kids' film doesn't mean you get away with making it shit.
Well, it's a kids
Like it
film.
still needs to be a good. There's still good kids' films out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
I know.
your expectations to where they
I know.
should be.
I'm in the right mindset to go into this. I'm in a similar mindset to D&D. Like it's gonna be reference after reference, but if it has heart and I get some giggles out of it and some moments of glee, then I'm happy. I know it's a kids' film. I'm gonna treat it like I treated fucking like the Grinch and stuff.
Yeah. The Pope's Exorcist. So this is apparently based on a true story, which I don't know the true story, but it sounds pretty
No.
bonkers. It is Russell Crowe's, I guess, would you call it a comeback? I feel like it's a comeback. I haven't seen him in anything for quite some time. But
Can't.
he's
Yeah.
I don't know, he's back playing the Exorcist. And then also Beef, which is Ali Wong's new Netflix show, which is apparently the number one trending thing as of today. So
Yeah.
I'll
Suppose
give
people
it a
love
look.
it.
Yeah. We'll be the judge of that, whether you should watch it or not, if you're not already
Yeah.
seen it. Yep. And yeah, you know what to do. If you want to make people's days better, worse, you know, tell them
Tell your
about this
friends.
podcast. Tell them
Tell
all.
your fucking friends.
Tell
Just
them all.
tell them all. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Put them in social medias and all that. I'm live on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday, 7:45 Australian Central Standard Time. Obviously, if you're really liking the content and you're watching the podcast, hit that big thumbs up. It definitely helps with the algorithm, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Chuck some things that you'd like us to review. If you're on Spotify and you want to review us, make sure you leave a 5-star. If you don't leave a 5-star, don't worry about reviewing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we shall see you guys next week.
You love yous.
Bye.